Hi everyone, this is Terry Nazon, world famous astrologer, and today is Tuesday, February 17th, 2026, the Chinese Lunar New Year. It's Mardi Gras, it's the beginning of Ramadan, and also it's a new moon solar eclipse. So that just goes and shows you how much of our holidays and our traditions are ancient and based in the movements of the sun and the moon. So you can look that up on your own, and that's a whole thing that needs to be studied if you're into astrology. Of course, today it's a new moon solar eclipse in the sign of Aquarius at 28 degrees. And so get ready for everything, all the time and all at once. Things are going to move fast, and you need to have your running shoes on. Are you ready? So it's also a new time for everyone, as this week shows us that a lot of things are going to be going on that require your attention or take your attention away from what you want to do. So make sure that you are focused on what you want to do. I love the sign of Aquarius because it's both the past and the future. And some of you could be tempted to use this new energy to go back to the past. I don't know that that's a great idea, since maybe you've already figured out that an ex is not, it's not going to work out with an ex, or that you don't want to go back to an old temple, an old church, an old group, or an old club, or people that didn't treat you very well to begin with. So remember that as this new moon solar eclipse unfolds, you may have like a temptation or a decision ahead of you to go back to the past or to move on to the future. Or you might try, if you're Libra-ish, to try to do both. But I don't know how that's going to work. So anyway, let's get started. It is the Chinese New Year, and celebrating the year of the red fire horse, or the crimson fire horse. And your Chinese zodiac sign is determined by the planet Jupiter, who has a 12-year cycle, which is also called in Chinese feng shui the Tissot, or the Grand Duke Jupiter. So in many astrological methods, there are specific rules concerning the planet Jupiter, not just Chinese astrology, but also Vedic astrology. And showing respect is essential if you want things to go well for you, so the tradition goes. Jupiter rules teachers, advisors, the law, religious persons, education, and so much more, which you can read on my website, because I've written a lot about Jupiter. In 2026, Tissot will be located in the south, especially between 172.6 degrees and 187.5 on your compass. And this is determined by the day of the Lunar New Year. So just like in Western astrology, we take a picture of the day, and that kind of says where all the planets are located over you or around the Earth spatially. Additionally, Mardi Gras and Ramadan begin at sundown tonight. The sun is at the very last degree of the sign of Aquarius before entering the sign of Pisces. And it's fitting that Tuesdays are ruled by the planet Mars, the planet of action and taking the initiative. Things move fast from here on out. What an amazing time to set a goal or achieve a long-range dream or hope of yours. You can read more on my weekly and monthly horoscopes. Aries, you win and lose friends when you're hypocritical and not entirely honest with yourself or others. You still can be in a little bit of a dream world because Neptune has entered your sun sign. So you kind of color reality with your own sort of rainbow hue, let's say. And you can have big hopes and wishes, some of which you hold very close to your heart, while others you do not. So there's a powerful connection to community and all the people you meet as you move forward. And you may meet a lot of new people. And this involves doing favors, giving gifts to people in hopes that they will do favors for you in return. Your friends, or the people you consider friends, or as well as your desire to be famous or to mingle with famous people or in elite circles, require you to put forth more efforts through September. Taurus, slow-moving bulls don't like to be rushed by galloping horses running by them, saying, hurry up. Everything has to be your decision in your own time, and something that you've really given a lot of thought to. You like to take your time and think about things. Well, Honestly, that's not what 2026 is all about. It's a fast-paced year. So when you find people rushing you, giving you deadlines, or forcing you to move and make a decision, it feels uncomfortable. You don't like to make mistakes, and you tend to make mistakes when you're rushed. So you have to balance this fast-paced year with your slow, methodical ways. Shift your focus from a romance that isn't progressing, makes you feel guarded, or requires too much overthinking, and relax. Live each day to its fullest as your career takes you places this year. Gemini, you have no problem moving fast because you're an air sign. You flow with the wind. Navigating all this nervous energy is easy for you. Put things in place to harness the energy and capture everyone's attention now, and you could be in the driver's seat very shortly. Imagine all the ways that you can gain through your career, profession, your business, and all the hard work that you've already put in. The cosmos puts you at the head of the class and rewards all your hard work. Everyone wonders, who's that? And they need to know all about you. Jupiter is the ruler of your relationship and marriage zone, and this is where you need to be respectful of others. Gemini needs to follow the Tai Su's rules regarding others right now. Cancer, moon phases are always a critical time for you because, well, the moon is your ruler. Today, opt to do better, work harder, and apply yourself more. Be respectful of the law, religious leaders, and those pious folk who devote themselves to spiritual practices and keep the spiritual laws and learnings written or practiced for the rest of us. Don't steal ideas or plagiarize, and opt to be honest. Don't cover up others' bad deeds or go along with others because they are rich or famous. Be honest. Steer clear of bad people, even if you're married to one. Rely on yourself. Work and devote all of your time to your career. This is your time to get ahead. Leo, you still have to manage everyone. Maybe you're in charge of a lot of people who work for you, or you're in charge of a group endeavor where all the moving parts have to be in sync, but honestly, they're not in sync. Organize people and don't try to create animosity or a competitive vibe between those in your life. You might say one thing to this person and another thing to another person and then watch them battle it out. In love, you might be involved with someone you're completely obsessed with, and also be talking to their ex to get the lowdown on what's going on. Virgo, Jupiter is the ancient ruler of your relationship zone, and Saturn is the ruler of your romance and love zone. Soon enough, you'll move on and feel that someone has hindered you and taken up too much of your precious time in the past or your mind space. It's not the time to rely on or lean on the goodwill of anyone, as this puts you in a very bad and vulnerable position. Independence, no matter what the cost, is in your future, and you need to work hard to gain complete and total independence without relying on anyone. Don't put yourself in any bad situations. Libra, this is an amazing time for you and a pivotal time for you as well, as your direction and how you envision your life changes drastically. Nothing can stop you from going for the gold or putting all your efforts into being a huge success. There are a few rules and things you have to watch out for, of course, like your health and wellness. You need to be physically and mentally strong for what's ahead. Make peace with others, avoiding distractions, and please avoid conflicts. And don't be afraid to start from the bottom and work your way up, even if you feel a little out of sorts about that. Be helpful to older folks and family members. Scorpio, as a fixed sun sign, you can be very sensitive and more private than normal. Protecting your private life and your feelings from others, covering up or hiding any flaws in your romantic or your sex life. You're a Scorpio. You don't like people prying or digging around about how you feel and what's going on in your life. So you might secretly have it on your mind to move, accumulate real estate, or relocate, and nothing can really change your mind. You need space. You might realize that it's up to you to save money and work hard in order to gain that independence from your family and an oppressive living situation. But don't worry, a new cycle is underway. And you also have to find ways to relax and loosen up. Maybe a new love or a hobby will help. Sagittarius, since Jupiter is your ruling planet, this is a very important time for you when your phone rings off the hook and you may or may not have answers for everyone, or time to pick up all those phones? Or is it just time to hang out or stop hanging out so much on the video chat for hours like you used to? You get tired of telling everyone how happy you are, how in love you are with your significant other. So just stop. Maybe you think that if you say something all the time, it will become reality. Okay, I can see that you want to manifest. Saying something is different than what you're feeling maybe will work and maybe it won't work. But hope springs eternal with Sagittarius, who hangs on to a romantic partner even by a thread. Well, what does the cosmos have planned for you? That's really the bigger picture. Capricorn, while it's the last day of the sun in Aquarius, it's all about money, all about the belongings you've accumulated and staved and have in the closet or your storehouse, the cost of keeping things going too, and a desire for more freedom and maybe not to have so much hanging on you or depending on you. You need additional space to pursue what brings you happiness and helps you relax. Allow yourself to lose yourself and lose your worry. Some goats require a special space for dating or falling in love where they can pursue romance in private or secret. But mostly it's all the things that bring you pleasure, that help you lose yourself and make you forget about your career, deadlines, your profession, and ruling the world, of course. You need your hobbies. Aquarius, there's just a few hours left for your solar return. It's the last day of the sun in Aquarius, and things reach a critical point because that last degree of Aquarius is an important degree. You might have a big decision to make about a dream or a hope that you've hung on to, and maybe you think it's come to an end and you need another dream or obsession, or you're getting down. Don't blame others. It's Pluto taking you through to the depths again, only to release you and have you swim back after you totally give up and submit to the power. Or is it truly time to consider a redirection in your life? The pressure is on, but let's wait and let's see what happens tomorrow. Pisces, this is your solar return this morning if you're born today or tomorrow, and you'll find yourself getting obsessive and excited about things, charging like a herd of wild horses, completely and totally consumed with a dream or something you imagine or want to happen. But you'll only find that the grass isn't greener and the pastures aren't better. So while you may throw caution to the wind at times, stay grounded. This year will surprise you with delightful experiences. So do your research, make new friends, and embrace romance in every city you visit. Well, that's all for now. This is Terry Nazon, world-famous astrologer. Go beyond the sun sign with me. Learn the techniques I use to see the future. Get names, dates, times, and places, and listen to my podcast. Join me on TikTok, on social media. Look forward to seeing you there.